Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. It's a mishmash day today. I mean, some of the wines have got a vague relationship to each other, but yeah, not all that much. The first and the last are both from Tabilk in central Victoria, the state of Victoria in Australia. Bottom right-hand corner if your Australian geography is not all that up to much. Now, Viognier in Australia, I think Yalumba would be... No, I don't think people would argue Yalumba were the pioneers for a Viognier in Australia, and they really started making an effort with it early 90s. Took them quite a while to get it right, but over the course of about 10 years, they started to get it bang on the nail, and probably from about 2002 onwards, it's been, for me, the pick of the Australian Viogniers. But another thing that's happened with Viognier, people have started blending it in with their Shiraz. Good thing, bad thing. For me, if you're from somewhere where it's slightly cool, and sometimes you need a little bit of body or sort of perfume to put in your wines, fine. But it's when you see people in really warm climates where you've got like lush, large, hulking Shirazes, and they're putting Viognier in there. It's what I call the cream and custard treatment. You don't really need it. But let's see what it's like by itself. 2009 vintage. It smells fresh and peachy. It's yeah, nice. It feels like it's not going to be all that complex, but it does deliver what I'm expecting from Viognier. That peach kernel, that little bit of creamy headiness. Viognier is a bit of a balancing act to get right, because you need to get it ripe enough in order for the flavours to have fully developed. If you pick it too early, it's just another white variety, and if you pick it too late, all the acidity's gone and you're left with big bloated, rather caricature of a wine. Anyway, this feels like they've got it about right. Yeah, a bit of citrus in there, a bit of lime jelly. It's funny because it smells peachy, but the flavour that you're getting is much more crisp, and I'm just wondering, I'm not sure whether they've acidified here, but it feels like if they had, they could have done with like backing off a little bit. It's almost a bit too, it's not quite plush enough. I want something that's actually a bit plumper and a bit more Mar Larkin-like. Darling Buds of May reference for anyone who missed that one. I think I'll change the glass for the next three, because the next three all red. Now this is the first, Rioja with a screw cap. It's Cuney's Criantha 2006. I think it's the first Rioja with a screw cap from Cuney. It should be called Cuvni, because Cuney stands for Compañía Vinícola del Norte de España, CVNE, but everyone calls it Cuney. Anyway, 2006 Criantha. Mostly Tempranillo. I think its typical thing will be like 80% Tempranillo plus some of those others like Garnacha, Mazuelo and whatever. But yes, it's essentially Tempranillo, and I think it's been aged in oak, probably American oak, for a year and a bit. Well, it smells bouncy and fresh. It smells what I call pippy berry fruit. Yeah, brambles, those loganberries, raspberries, not sweet strawberry edge, which sometimes Rioja can be. I think that it will develop into that with a couple more years in bottle. But yeah, this smells quite bouncy and fresh with a slightly spicy edge. And I don't notice too much of that over-the-top vanilla that some Riojas can have. Now this smells like the oaks nicely. Yeah, it's there adding a little bit of seriousness, a little bit of structure, but it's this fruit that's going spicy and strawberry, spicy and raspberry-like. Now some people will say, oh, that doesn't taste like Rioja, and what they mean is it doesn't taste like that vanilla and jam style of Rioja. For me, this actually does taste of Rioja. It's got this, this spicy pippy berry edge. It's fresh. It's got this, it's slightly sappy. I noticed the acidity there. It's very fresh, very clean. Leaves your mouth wanting food. Bit of roast lamb with that would be really nice. And it's come straight out of my cellar, and it's not warmed up fully to room temperature. It's quite a nice day here today, but at this temperature, actually quite nice. It's really quite refreshing. So if you're having this in summer, don't be afraid of putting it in the fridge for like 20 minutes or so, just to chill it down a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Not all that complex, but honest and tasty. Next wine. over the border into Portugal. And this is from the Douro, the place where they make port, Barco Negro, 2007, from Francois Lurton, one of the Lurtons dynasty from Bordeaux. And Francois Lurton used to work with his brother Jacques, but I think about 2 or 3 years ago went out on his own and makes wine in about 5 different countries. And he certainly does Chile, Argentina. I think they've still got a place in Australia, Portugal. I think they work a bit in Spain as well, and France, of course. They're great varieties here. Well, typical Douro. There's a bit of this, there's a bit of that. I think there will be some Tempranillo in, but it's known as Tinta Roriz here. Certainly Touriga Nacional and Touriga Franca. I think those 3 are the main ones. Tinta Roriz and the 2 Tourigas. And interesting that this is the only one with a cork in, but it's not a cork, it's a Noma cork, one of the plastic ones. So 4 wines, no natural cork in them. Well, this smells a bit headier and a bit richer and deeper and fruitier. It smells like it comes from a warmer place than the Rioja, and it smells like it's going to have more base notes. It's more of that dark fruit here, blackberries, black currants, that edge here. But it still smells like it's got this earthy, spicy stuff going on there. It smells like it's going to be quite full-bodied, but fresh with it. Nicely perfumed there. Didn't notice too much perfume when I smelt it, but there's this gentle floral spicy edge to this berry and blackcurrant fruit. And what I'm left with on the finish, yes, it's that deep fruit, bit of vanilla, certainly this wealth of berry, maybe a touch of toffee, but fresh with it. It feels like your mouth again is left clean and satisfied. I like that. And whereas the Cuney feels like it's not going to develop too much more, very nice now. This feels like it's got a few more layers still to go. It doesn't feel like there's any unresolved tannin there. They've sorted that out pretty well. Sometimes young Portuguese Douro Reds in particular can be really gawky and need a bit of time to calm down. This one tastes good now, but I think its best is still to come. Yeah, can't fault that. Nice creamy edge to the finish as well. Final wine, back on to Bilk. 2006 Shiraz here from central Victoria, the Nagambie Lakes region. And the Tabilk style of Shiraz used to be really soft, warm, rounded, leathery, rustic, but good rustic. Let's see if this is any different. Well, it's still got that warm, earthy, chocolatey feel to it. It feels like you'd almost believe them if they said, "Oh, we put a handful of earth in there." There's this warm, roasted earth character that comes up, and this bear hug style of berry fruit, dark berries with this edge of chocolate too, chocolate coffee, mocha style. Yeah, it's coming for its 4th birthday now. But it still feels quite tight, as if it's got a little bit of unfurling to do. And there's this slightly nutty, creamy edge from, probably picked up a bit of that from the aging in the barrel. Slight vanilla, leesy type of character, ever so slight edge of oatmeal too. But it's this fresh, dark fruit as well. Bits of berries, bits of black currants there, and certainly a little plummy edge too. I like that. Yeah, feels like again, it's got maybe it's best in another year or so, but it's got that freshness. It's got full flavour. Not trying to whack you around the head with excess ripeness or alcohol or oak. Nicely balanced. Yeah.